grade 10 STEMers in a STEM school. First we start with the practical experiments for grade 10 first semester. I know we did it before, but now we want to review it. Okay? Let's start by the first one, how to calculate the density of matter. Density, we can calculate the density of liquid matters if we know the volume and the mass. And we calculate the density or estimate the density of some solid matter. Now we have a solid matter like a metallic poles. I wanted to know the density of these metallic poles. If you wanted to calculate or estimate the density, so you must know the mass and the volume. First of all, we start by tools that you will use. Sensitive balance, the first one. You know how to use sensitive balance? Okay, we will start it together. We will know what is the sensitive balance and how we deal with. Second one, we must have graduated cylinder, because the graduated cylinder measuring the volume of liquid and used in measuring the volume of irregular solid body. Because if we have irregular solid body like the pole, we don't know to get its width, height. Okay, so we must use water and graduated cylinder to make it. First, I want to calculate the mass. Start step by step. That's our procedure. Using the balance, sensitive balance, to measure the mass. I use a paper sheet. We can use wetting paper, or like I used filtered paper, but it used before. I put it in a cylinder, in the balance. Start with the balance first until B0. Okay. I put the paper, maybe have a weight. So I cancel the end by pressing on 0. When it gets 0, put the metallic poles like this. You can take the number that you find as M1, the first trial. I can repeat it more than once. Get it out, then make it cancel by 0. Repeat it twice. Cancel the reading. Put my poles. Take M2. Then repeat it the third one. Okay, you can wait until it is stable. Repeat the third time and take the third end. It's a paper sheet. Make it 0 and then put the pole. It's okay. You can get the sum of the 3 times divided by 3 trials to get the average mass. So now you have a table for mass. Has 3 reading, It has 3 reads or 3 trials. The first I finished using my balance, so put it in a darkened side. Make it off. I have the mass of a pole. I wanted to get its volume. I ask myself a question, even it has a regular shape or irregular. We know the pole has irregular shape, so I can't determine it by using the width or the height. I must use water. So put it aside, then put water in a graduated cylinder, a definite volume. I will take approximately 110. Okay. That's the reading, approximately is 110. The first volume of water. Add more. It's not 110. Okay, add more. Again.
والتجربة المتوقعة يعني هم لسه ما لقوا بس التجربة المتوقعة هي بتاعت كل سنة اللي هي determination the molarity and the strength of potassium permanganate
The first volume is you have a table, the next table for V2. First table in your procedure table you have the mass M1, M2, M3. You have 3 trials for mass and then V1, V2, V3.
Of potassium permanganate.
You have here average.
More solution.
Total mass, say whatever, you have M1, M2, M3. You can add the 3 trials, then divide it by 3 to get the average mass. And then the 3 trials for volume that we will do together now. And then get the average volume. Density equal average mass over average volume. So when to get the average volume. When I do the volume, I must be on a buzzer. Be careful. Okay? Try to put the pole like this, in a clam way. It's like a slide. Put it carefully. No water pushed out. And then I'll get the next volume V2. Because we have the first volume of water and V2 to get the volume of the pole. Now you can calculate it. You have V1, this is V2, you can calculate it. V2 minus V1. Repeat it 3 times. I mean just only one trial, you make it 3 times. When you have the mass and the volume, you can divide it, the average mass over the average volume to get the density. Don't forget, when you write the mass, you must say the unit. You use the unit for mass by gram and the volume by milliliter because I'm using as a water. When you say the volume of the metallic pole, so you must use cubic centimeter because that's the measuring unit for the solid volume. When you divided mass over volume, so you will find the density. The measuring unit of density, you must write it gram per cubic centimeter if you deal with the metallic pole. That is the first one. We have another question in an exam. What about calculation? What about conclusion? We have 2 terms, calculation and conclusion. Calculation means how you calculate the mass and volume. That is the table for calculation. But conclusion, what did you find? The final results that you have. Conclusion that you have the density of the pole or whatever, maybe sink or float of water. Maybe think if its density may be more than 1 because the density of water approximately 1. If it float, if its density is less than 1. Okay? We have a question on an exam about the specific density. What about the specific density? That's for density, but we have a specific. Specific gravity. The density that you get of matter divided by the density of water. You know the density of water approximately 1. So it is the same density if we get a specific gravity according to water. But the last exam in a year before, we have a question about the specific density relevant to the density of air. If you change it water, he will give you the specific density, the density of air. So you divided the density of matter divided by the density of air instead of water to get a specific density. Be careful and put your mind, be aware that the specific density has no unit. No unit. Remember again, because the same unit of density divided by the same unit of density. So no unit for specific gravity. Now we finish the first one. We will go to the next one, free activity. Stay with us and be enjoy.
وانزل من